Welcome to Sideline Sports, where we give you an up-close and personal look at the teams, coaches, and athletes that make up the Columbia Basin. Here's your host, Jeff Slakey.
Great show for you this week. Tonight, an in-depth look at last Friday's meeting between the Moses Lake Chiefs and the Hanford Falcons. We'll also tell you how the wildfire smoke in the Columbia Basin affected student athletics, and a recap of the news surrounding a Seahawk player's arrest. We'll also check in on other scores around the area and look ahead to this week in sports.
This portion of Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
Allstead Real Estate, a name you can trust. The contest between Moses Lake and Hanford wasn't decided early, but one team did dominate the other.
The atmosphere was absolutely electric Friday night when Moses Lake had their first home game against the Hanford Falcons. From early in the game, the Chiefs' defense was stifling, stopping Hanford from scoring on offense all game. An early pick six put Moses Lake down 7-0, but after the first quarter, it was all Chiefs. A deep pass from Brandon Griffith to Kyler Hannenberg sparked the crowd in the second quarter, and from that point on, the excitement never left the air. The Chiefs ended up winning by a large margin of 31-7. Coach Todd Griffith said he liked the way his defense played, saying they played, quote, lights out, but the offense still needs some fine-tuning moving forward. But an offense that can score 31 points and still needs fine-tuning is an offense that could be devastating for opponents. Moses Lake will next play at Coeur d'Alene, an Idaho team that won 3 state championships from 2010 to 2013. It will no doubt push the Chiefs to their limits. I'm Adam Tchaikovsky for iFiber One Sports.
Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
Cheryl Kono Farmers Insurance. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance. The Columbia Basin was shrouded in smoke last week, affecting practice and games throughout the area. Adam Tchaikovsky has the story.
As fires continue to burn across the Pacific Northwest, smoke clouds the sky, and today it happened to be at an unhealthy level. Moses Lake students district-wide have had their PE classes and normal outdoor activities moved inside for the protection from the smoke. This especially affects the student athletes in local high schools who are used to practicing and competing outside. With heavy amounts of smoke in the air, Moses Lake High School Athletic Director Lawrence Sandhop explains what they do to safeguard the student athletes from the smoky air.
It very similar to what we might do in a springtime where we have a rainy day game plan. What are we going to do if we get rained out? Well, in this case, we're getting smoked out. We're using 3 or 4 different websites to kind of extrapolate where the air quality is and gauge that on their air quality index. If it gets into the red category at that 151 mark where it's unhealthy, then we're canceling outside practices, only having indoor practices. We're reducing anything, we're canceling games, rescheduling them if possible. Health and safety of our kids is #1 priority.
Hopefully the smoke will clear out soon so the students can get back to playing the games they love and we can get back to cheering them on. This is Adam Tchaikovsky for iFiber One Sports.
This portion of Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
Grant Transit Authority, celebrating 20 years of public transportation in Grant County. Seahawks defensive end Michael Bennett ended up in handcuffs in Vegas this past week.
Michael Bennett was detained by Las Vegas Metro Police when he visited Las Vegas for the Mayweather-McGregor fight. In the chaos, after a loud noise that many believed were gunshots, local police informant assumed that Bennett was a live shooter. The Las Vegas Metro officers in an open letter to the NFL. The letter explains that responding to an active shooter call in a crowded casino is one of the most dangerous calls that an officer can take. Police claim that Bennett was hiding behind a slot machine, and when the police turned towards him, he bolted from the scene, jumped over a 4-foot barrier, and hid from police outside the casino. Bennett was shaken by the experience, believing the color of his skin is what made him a target.
It's a traumatic experience for me, my family. Do I think every police officer is bad? No, I don't believe that. Do I believe there's some people out there that judge people on the color of their skin? I do believe that.
Bennett's story is a polarizing one. with many people expressing strong feelings for one side or the other. The NFL will not investigate Michael Bennett as requested by the Las Vegas police. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFiber One Sports.
Here are the high school scores from last week in football. Here's a look at Big Bend Community College volleyball scores from last week. Now time for your iFiber Communications Game of the Week.
Looking at the game of the week, it'll be Tigers and Wolves this Friday with Ephrata taking on Wapato. It will be Ephrata's first home game of the season. The Tigers are undefeated going into the game, and Wapato is having a strong start to their season as well. The last time these two teams met, Ephrata won 49-6. Friday's game is scheduled for 7 p.m. at Kiwanis Field. Adding to that, Ephrata's 1987 state championship football team will be honored during the game.
Here's your high school football schedule. And a look ahead at the Big Bend volleyball schedule. Here's your high school soccer schedule. This has been another presentation of Sideline Sports. I'm Jeff Slakey.